Alright. Yo, what's up guys? Kevin here. Welcome to the Snowboard Pro Cam live chat. We'll be on here for the next hour to talk to you guys today from Venice, Italy. I'm here with my wife Jill for a week, and yeah, nice little holiday before getting back to some snowboarding. But yeah, so to be on here for the next hour. It's pretty late here in Venice. It's about, I guess, like 11 p.m. But yeah, thank you guys all for tuning in. We got lots to talk about. We've got the season coming up shortly. I know some places open up in October, and there's some places to snowboard here in Europe, in Austria. So people are buying season passes. Everyone's getting their equipment ready. So really stoked to just talk to you guys about that, answer any questions you guys have, whether it's for gear, buying any new gear if you guys need anything, or just like progressing with snowboarding, or for making plans for this upcoming season. So let's get into it. Let's see who's on the chat. Some shout outs to some of the people getting in here early. We got Shred 1904. What's up, man? Narab. We got Corey Kemper. Jen is on here early. Wyatt. We've got, who else? DT Hippie. Thank you guys all for tuning in super early on the chat. Harper 5 cents. What's up, guys? Aaron talking about Crystal is on the Icon Pass, and Kevin usually sticks to the Epic because his hometown is Whistler, and did Stevens Pass last year. So yeah, last year I had both passes. I had the Epic Season Pass and also had the Icon. And I've already bought the Icon Seasons Pass, but I may buy the Epic as well. But I'm kind of just looking to see how things play out. But yeah, I would love to get back down to Washington State again. Harper is saying, have you ever been snowboarding in Montana? No, we've driven through Montana, and I've got a friend who snowboards in Montana and loves it, so we'll have to visit Montana one day. Daniel Z, all right, really interesting question. What is your thoughts on the new GoPro 9? Are you going to use it? I'm definitely going to use it. I think so each year I always upgrade to the latest GoPro just because I'm using the GoPro like every single day to make the snowboard videos. This year I also picked up the GoPro Max 360, which has been a really useful camera. If you guys have checked out any of my videos from Zermatt, most of those were filmed with the GoPro Max 360, and I wasn't sure like how the videos were going to turn out, but I was like really happy with the quality of the Max and like the new like versatility it gives you. So yeah, definitely check out some of those videos because I feel like the GoPro Max definitely adds like a whole new aspect to filming snowboarding. I think like it's a useful camera, but especially useful for filming something like snowboarding. So it's really cool. But the GoPro 9 coming out, and it looks pretty good. A few features that I think are amazing about the GoPro 9. One is the longer battery life. So apparently the battery is going to be has 40% more capacity. So I think that is huge because in most extreme sports, the GoPro battery is fine, but for snowboarding, it dies pretty early because of the cold. So you end up with 6 or 7 extra batteries. So having the GoPro 9 with that larger capacity battery, I think is going to be really valuable. Another thing with the GoPro 9 is it does 5K, which is cool. I'm not sure if I'll use that feature as much, but it does have a forward-facing camera, which is pretty cool. So, or it's not camera, screen, so that if you're filming yourself, then you can actually, you know, make sure you're lining up the shot. If you're talking to the camera, you can see that, you know, it looks the way that you want it to look. So that's cool to have the forward-facing screen. I think that's like a huge step up. And also the GoPro 9 has the like 3rd generation of the Hyper Smooth. The GoPro 8 has the 2nd generation, and I think that the Hyper Smooth on the GoPro 8 is like the gimbal killer. So it just makes having a gimbal, making the gimbal basically obsolete. And so with the GoPro 9 and having that third generation of hypersmooth, I feel like they're just going to take it to the next level. So that should be really cool to see. And so yeah, those three features I think stand out the most: the extended battery life, the hypersmooth 3, and what was the third thing? The forward-facing screen. So those three things are I'm looking forward to checking out. But yeah, I'm gonna get my hands on a GoPro 9 as soon as I can. I'll probably pick one up in Austria and yeah, start filming for you guys with it, and then compare it to the GoPro Max, because I feel like for a lot of people having the GoPro Max may be the way to go, because it's just so easy to film with the GoPro Max, especially if you're filming like POV style, or if you're filming POV to have the Max in your helmet. It's pretty cool. Or for having the Max like on the end of a stick for filming, it's super useful. So yeah, looking forward to checking out those cameras. A few more shout outs: Cam Brown, Joe W, Longboard Slider, David Penry, Cameron. Thank you guys all for tuning in. A few shout outs there. Shuri's saying, hey man, can't wait for the season to kick off for some more vids. Yeah, same. It's been too long. It's been like since everything happened back in March and all the resorts closing. Since then, I think I've only been able to snowboard like a few weeks, which is crazy. So in the last 6 months, it's been a lot of not downtime, but it hasn't been much snowboarding. So I'm really looking forward to getting back. I hope you guys are all looking forward to getting back out there, because being in the snow on the mountain is such a good feeling. And Tori's saying, where is Kevin right now? Yeah, so if you missed it at the beginning, so I'm in Venice, Italy, with my wife Jill, and we're hanging out in Venice for the week. Gonna see like all the sights and the canals and everything here, and just eat as much like amazing Italian food as we can. And yeah, then we're gonna be off to Austria in like just over a week. So yeah, really looking forward to this upcoming week. It's like kind of a bit of a holiday before getting back to some snowboarding. So yeah, super stoked to be here in Venice. If you guys have ever been to Venice, Italy, maybe let me know in the chat. If you guys have any advice on things that we could do while we're here, that would be awesome to hear. We got In Motion SLB on here. What's up, Yannick? Corey Kemper saying, how do you like the Nitro T1? I've actually never ridden that board, but a friend of mine actually on the chat here, Nirav, he has the Nitro T1 and he really likes that board. Again, back to the Zermatt videos we filmed a few weeks ago. He was riding the Nitro T1 in the last like half of that trip, and he like loved it, loves that board. I think the Nitro T1 is like that, is a great kind of do everything park type snowboard. So if you're into that, then maybe check out the Nitro T1. Tomer saying the GoPro Max footage is amazing. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm super happy with it too. Just the way that it turns out. I feel like the GoPro is doing something right with the GoPro Max. I think it's pretty cool. And the quality turns out to be 1080 because it's filming like 360 degrees all the way around. So it gives you this like 5.6K like file size that goes down to 1080, but it still looks amazing. And I'm sure like the next generation of the GoPro Max will just maybe even make the original GoPro obsolete. I don't know. But yeah, the GoPro Max is pretty cool. And we got a super chat sticker from Thomas. Awesome. Thanks for the support. Saying thank you. And it's like a plum chicken bowing, or is it a pear? Yeah, thanks, Thomas. Thanks for stopping by the live chat, man. Rochelle saying winter 2020 about to be the best thing that happened all year. Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's time. It's time to Yet 2020 has been has some highs and lows. So I feel like when the winter comes around and resorts open and we're back on the snow, then it's gonna make 2020 the rest of 2020 very positive and good. So let's hope for that. And Jen with the super chat saying, when are you gonna relocate to Europe? And then with a winky face, shout out DWCP. Um, yeah, like I love spending time in Europe, man. So I think that being here more often, like either in the summer or the winters or both, is pretty likely. Yeah, Europe is crazy. Like it's crazy how there's so many countries packed into such a small area. It feels small. It's massive, but it feels small. And you can just so the other day we were in Portugal on the coast, and then we flew to Geneva, Switzerland. So we were in Geneva for a few days, and then drove here to Venice, Italy, and with a one night over in Milan in Italy too. So it's crazy how you can just keep driving, going to different places. So I can imagine for snowboarding, you could go to different countries, to snowboard in different countries, not too far away from each other, and get that like total different experience each place you go. So yeah, I'm pretty jealous of everyone in Europe. It's a pretty amazing spot. Dr. Vanikut saying GoPro Max versus Hero 8, pointing at POV stick filming. Yeah, I think the GoPro Max is probably better. Whether you're filming yourself or filming somebody else, it just makes it like you capture everything no matter what. So you don't have to worry about pointing the GoPro 8, like you don't have to worry about pointing the GoPro Max, sorry. You just hold it and it's capturing everything, every angle. So the only extra work afterwards is when you go to edit you have to edit it afterwards. You like don't have the choice, you have to edit it. But when you do and you get through that process, you get a really cool looking video, I think. So yeah, I think for snowboarding it's definitely worth it. Cam Brown saying, any tips for starting out on the half pipe? Half pipe is super fun. It's really hard. I would say one skill that you really need for half pipe is carving. So using your edges. So before you go into the half pipe, maybe work on your carving skills, get your carving down really well. The other bit of advice is learning how to absorb pressure that builds on your board. So when you ride up like a half pipe wall, there's a lot of like force that starts to come like towards you and into your legs. So as you ride up that wall, being able to bend your knees and really like absorb that pressure that gets put onto your board. Then as you ride down the wall, all that pressure gets released. So then you have to like extend your legs and almost like push out of it to keep your momentum going across the bottom of the pipe. So all that just comes with practice. I would say like start small, just start riding up the half pipe a little bit, working on those edges, and yeah, absorbing that pressure. Also on the toe side edge of the half pipe wall, this is like a big one. It's a good thing to take your front shoulder and like point it back down into the pipe. The toe side wall is definitely harder, but if you use that front shoulder and like point it down the pipe, it helps you to get back onto your toes and ride down that toe side wall. Harper 5 cents saying, how's Italy doing with the COVID thing? So I think that Italy's doing pretty well. I know that they're having a rough go of it at the beginning, but I think that they're doing pretty decent. So let's hope that continues. James saying, hey bud, just moved to Vancouver, got a season's pass to Cyprus. I want to rip with you guys this year. No joke. Awesome, James. Yeah, well, I'll keep an eye out for you, man. If you see me, I'll maybe be riding Cyprus, but definitely come find me in Whistler. If I'm in Whistler, I don't know what's going to happen this season, but yeah, I'll be somewhere, James. Hopefully we get to ride together. Jacob saying, just bought the Arbor Draft and Solomon bindings, super flexible bindings. Do you think this will be a good for park riding? Been trying to find a good setup for it. Yeah, that sounds like a great setup. Some soft flex Solomon bindings with the Arbor Draft. That's kind of like the good sort of beginner intermediate park setup, I think. You can take it beyond that, but yeah, like Arbor boards, how they have like the grip tech to give you that extra bit of grip for riding up to features. And I think flexible is the way to go for park because then it allows you to move in different ways to get into tricks, and it's like more forgiving too. It's not like as catchy. So yeah, good park setup, man. Jake saying he wants to see me try skiing. Man, I know that that would be a fun video to try skiing and like make a video of it, but I just hate wasting a day of snowboarding. Um, but yeah, maybe that'll happen. James saying, hey Kevin, having just come out of winter in Australia and dealing with COVID restrictions and reservations, it's definitely still possible to get a solid amount of boarding in. Chin up, guys. Awesome. Thanks, James. That sounds good. That's like it's good to get some positive news. Thank you, man. Wesley saying, I just got 2 orcas. Good call, man. 2 orcas. Perfect. Ole saying, greetings from Ukraine. Cannot find, I think it's Vans boots in my country. Would you recommend checking out Burton's or 32s? I've had some good luck with the 32 lashed boots. So maybe try those on, see if they're comfortable for you. Burton's, maybe try the Burton Photons. They're like sort of, I've heard some friends say good things about the Burton Photons as well. So maybe try out those two. It's just tricky because within each brand, there's so many different boots, and each one are very different. So yeah, maybe try those out, see how they feel. All right, GoPro Max versus Insta360 1R. Yeah, that would be cool too. I don't have the Insta360, but if I get my hands on one at some point, it would be fun to do a comparison. JLS 1337 saying, any tips on what to look for and watch out for when buying used gear? Yeah, I guess like when buying used gear, there's not a lot to watch out for because if you're getting it at a really good price, then sometimes it's worth it if it's a bit like worn out or anything like that. I would say the main thing is make sure that it's the right like size and fit for you. Like sometimes you may pick up a board because it looks good and it's a good deal, but it may not be the right size board for you. So I would say first, make sure it's like the perfect, like the exact size you need. Don't go for like a board that's too big or too small just because you can get it used. So make sure the size is right. And also like maybe have a friend, if you have a friend that's into snowboarding who knows a bit more than you about gear, maybe have them take a look at the board or gear with you, so that they can see if there's maybe any damage that's been done to it, because you definitely don't want to get like a damaged board or something that you're going to have to deal with or repair. And yeah, beyond that, it's just like if you can get a good deal, that's great. Don't get helmets secondhand because you want to get a brand new helmet. Most helmets, like if you have like an impact or something hit the helmet, then you want to have buy a brand new one anyway. So don't go for the helmets. And with like outerwear and mitts and like things like that, a lot of those may have lost their like waterproofness. So that's maybe something. There are some products that you can buy to re-waterproof that gear. And even depending on where you're snowboarding to, you may not need the most waterproofing. But yeah, that's something to consider too. But yeah, it's a good option. Another option too is if you need cheap stuff, you can check it online and look at last year's snowboard gear. A lot of the times that stuff goes for some pretty good deals, like 50 or 60% off. So in June, I bought two snowboards, and they were like the 20, I guess like the 2020 models or like last year's models, and I got them each for half price. They may have even been 60% off. So that could be like the way to go too. So consider buying last year's gear, or if it is secondhand gear, just yeah, make sure it's the right stuff for you. Crypto is saying, I'm a skier but still enjoy watching your content. Thank you, Crypto. Yeah, skiers are welcome. I've met so many skiers on the mountain that check out the videos. So yeah, I love the skiers too. Wyatt's watching from Washington. We got El Stacker on here, one of the legends, one of the moderators. Thanks, El Stacker, for showing up, man. Jerome is saying, what do you think about the Capita Super DOA for an intermediate rider to learn to ride park with? I think it's probably overkill. It's probably too much like tech and expensive board for like intermediate park. You could probably check out like a Capita board that is, you know, like 2/3 the price and get just as much enjoyment and progression out of the park on something that's maybe a bit softer, a softer Capita board, and something that's like not as expensive. So yeah, maybe check out some of the cheaper Capita boards. I would probably recommend you go that way. James says, just looking for some advice on park. Just want to learn to do spins and ollies and want to progress into park. What should I focus on next? Just learned to do spins and ollies. What to focus on next? Oh man, so many things. You can get some grabs going, some shifties. You can add grabs to your spins. You can start getting onto the boxes and rails, getting some board slides, doing the spins in different directions. So you got front side and back side, but then you also have switch back side and front side, switch front side or cab. So lots of different ways to be spinning and progressing. Gavin saying Bear Mountain this year. Yeah, definitely. Can't wait to get down to Bear Mountain in California again, right near Los Angeles. Yeah, love that place. Eric saying almost 500K. Greetings from Poland. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in from Poland. And yeah, we're close to that 500K mark again. So yeah, if anyone watching this, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, maybe you'll be the 500,000 subscriber. So yeah, definitely subscribe or call a friend. Get a friend to subscribe too. It's a funny thing, like the last time I hit 500K. So what happened was I hit 500K in early March, right before all this COVID stuff happened. And then when all the resorts closed, I went down to 498. So I've been stuck around 498, 499 for the last like 5 months. But the 500th subscriber was actually Janice Spiteri. So we were in Bear Mountain snowboarding with her and with TJ from Board Archive and David Jones. And I was one subscriber away from 500K. And then, yeah, she told me that she wasn't subscribed to the channel. So she subscribed and got us to that 500K mark. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe we can find out who's the next 500K subscriber. And Shant Y with the super chat. Thanks for the support. Saying, hey Kev, a few questions about my GoPro 8 that I just got. Awesome. Notice the battery life is around 60 minutes on 1080p. It also gets pretty hot. Is that normal? Last Q, did you ever have a problem with sound cutting out every 8 to 10 seconds? No, I've never. So the last part, I haven't had any issues with the sound cutting out. So yeah, what could that be from? Maybe check that you have the right memory card for the GoPro 8. So having like the proper memory card for it is like really important, because if you don't have the right memory card, then you could start getting issues like that with like choppy video or with the sound cutting out. The other issue it may be is that if your computer isn't used to, is the sound cutting out when you're editing it or just when you're watching it? Because if it's cutting out when you're editing, maybe your computer's not like fast enough to like process the video. But when you're watching it, it shouldn't cut out. I haven't had that problem before. So yeah, haven't had the sound cutting out problem. And it gets pretty hot. So I don't notice that it gets hot or not, because I'm usually snowboarding it with it in the cold. But I think it does warm up a bit. Yeah. I think in general, the GoPro, it'll get a bit warm if it's recording. Actually, yeah, because sometimes if I accidentally press record and then throw it into my pocket, and then I go to get it out of my pocket and it's been filming for like 40 minutes, then sometimes it is actually like hot. So maybe that part is normal. But yeah, sorry I can't help you more, man. So every 8 to 10 seconds the sound cuts out. It's either the memory card or your computer. I would say if you're watching the GoPro, if you're watching the footage on the GoPro itself and it cuts out, then it's probably the memory card. So maybe try a different memory card in it. But yeah, thanks for the support, man. I hope you can get those issues sorted out. Rufus saying, I know you love Oakley goggles. Do you recommend any? Yeah, so I definitely, my favorite Oakley goggles for sure are the Oakley Line Miners. So check out the Oakley Line Miner. They're a little bit more expensive and you only get one lens, but if you can swing it and if you can pick up two lenses, like a sunny day lens and a low light lens, then you'll be perfect. So yeah, the Oakley Line Miners are my favorite goggle for sure. Tyler is saying, I just bought, it says, Kevin, I just bought last year's Never Summer Prototype 2 for around half price. Awesome. Good deal, man. That's what you want to do. All right, we got El Stacker dropping potatoes in the chat. Danny's saying, I'm an intermediate snowboarder buying my first board. What would you suggest? Ride Berserker or a Huck Knife Solomon 2020 for all mountain board? I'd say the Huck Knife may be a little bit too soft for an all mountain board. It's more like, I think it's a better intermediate park board. So maybe the Ride Berserker, that could be the way to go instead of the Huck Knife. The Shred Ship, what's up, man? Saying, when do you expect to be back in Canada? Got a moisture wicking gator to mail you, but don't want Andreas snagging it. Awesome, man. Yeah, so I don't know when I'm going to be back in Canada. So when I do go back, I have to quarantine for 2 weeks. So that's not too appealing. And snowboarding in Austria is looking really good right now. So I'm going to be snowboarding in Austria for a few weeks at least. Our flight at the moment is booked to go back on Halloween, I think, October 31st. But I don't know if I'll be on that flight. We'll find out. But yeah, I'll let you guys know when I'm back in Canada. Stoked to check out the gator. That's going to be pretty cool. Jordan saying, here in Brooklyn, New York, I've been snowboarding indoors. I can't wait to get to an actual mountain soon. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I would love to travel to New York for some indoor snowboarding. That'd be amazing. I think like Casey Willax is there right now, and also Jonathan Buckhouse. So yeah, that'd be, well, looking forward to seeing the footage from those guys. And Arcturus saying, hi, we're in Austria. He says we're in Australia, but yeah, we're going to be in Austria. So Austria in between Switzerland and Germany and Italy. We'll be there in Hintertux. So if anyone's been to Hintertux, that's where we're headed to. And going to try to maybe go to the Capita Snowboard Factory as well in Austria. That'd be pretty cool to check out. Dr. Vanica saying, any tips for riding the Kazu Kokobu Pro? Mainly powder, woods, park, as it does have a stock setback. I was considering setting the bindings to the last hole. But then switch is messy. Yeah, so if you want to ride switch on that board, I would just keep it more centered. And then on the days where it's deeper powder, move it back. I think just on the fly, go back and forth. Centered for like low powder days or no powder, and then push it back. Excuse me, guys. On the days where you it's deeper. So Shant Y says, is cutting out when rewatching on the GoPro. Could be my PC. I also bought the chip based on the compatibility list on the GoPro website. Okay, I got to research this more. Yeah, sorry to hear that. Maybe it could be, yeah, what else could it be? Maybe try filming in different settings too and see if that changes it. Like try filming in 1080, 4K. It's cutting out when rewatching on the GoPro. Interesting. Yeah, that's weird. It shouldn't be doing that. There could be something wrong with the GoPro. Yeah, more troubleshooting. Sorry to hear that, man. Tom wants to know, how often should you replace a snowboard? Usually, you know, it kind of depends. Everyone, I know some people, they replace their boards every year just because they like enjoy buying new snowboards. I still do that. I just buy new boards every year, but it also depends on how often you use them. So sometimes when you have like a new snowboard at the beginning, you definitely feel like the board is like more snappy and maybe stiffer and has more like when you go to do an ollie, you really feel the snap through the tail. And then after like a season or two, you start to feel like the board feeling a little bit dull and doesn't have the same snap and all that kind of stuff. So if you're looking for like performance out of your board, then you may want to change it more often, depending on how much you ride, obviously. But yeah, if you only ride your board a few weeks a year, you could probably have it for like 9 or 10 years. But yeah, it kind of just depends on how often you ride, how much. And also just like damage wise, if it gets worn down, if the base starts to like get dried out, if you don't wax it as much as you need to. So like those kinds of things can affect it. So, but yeah, it depends. Engine says, Kevin, you should make a stop in Kaproon. What is that? Engine, what's Kaproon? Lucas saying, how do you drive on the other side of the road? It makes me so nervous. Well, Lucas, what side do you drive on? So here in Italy and Switzerland, they drive on the right side. And in Canada, we drive on the right side. So that's all been normal. The roundabouts are tricky. It's very like, that's the biggest thing to get used to. There's so many roundabouts in Europe and there's pretty much none in Canada. Maybe there's like 5 in all of Canada. So roundabouts are tricky, but definitely when I go to New Zealand to snowboard and I get a car there, that's tricky because you're on the left side of the road and there's roundabouts and you're driving up a mountain with like massive cliffs on the side of the road. So New Zealand is definitely a tricky place to be driving on the wrong side of the road. Also, then the steering wheel is on the opposite side as well, so it's like doubly as confusing. But I think you get used to it after like a day, and normally you like turn into the wrong way of traffic at least once, but hopefully that one time is like in a quiet area. But yeah, it's you get used to it. Uh, Fafatai Phipps saying, I'm fairly new to snowboard scene and looking to buy my first helmet. Any recommendation? Someone who's a warm body. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so if you tend to overheat, definitely get a helmet with lots of vents. And yeah, I would recommend check out a helmet that bought I actually bought it in March. Um, and it was the Smith Maze snowboard helmet. And I kind of like, I forgot my helmet at home and just like on the spot had to buy one. And I bought the Smith Maze and I'm like super happy with that helmet. It's like very comfortable. It's got lots of vents, so maybe check out that one. But yeah, definitely get a helmet with tons of vents, and yeah, a lot of the stuff is removable too. So helmets will come with like the ear like flaps, and they may even come. Some helmets come with like extra like padding for like warmth. That's not for protection. It's just for like to keep your head warm. So if you need to, you can take all that stuff off as well. So yeah, take off the extra like things that keep you warm, and yeah, just go for the helmet with lots of vents. Okay, continuing to look at this problem with the GoPro. Says it isn't cutting out on the GoPro, only when watching on the PC. Do you always record your videos on 4K? How long does your battery usually last? So the battery life always changes depending on how cold it is. So, but I think like room temperature, yeah, maybe it's an hour. But I don't film at 4K. I only film at 1080 because editing the 4K footage is hard on my computer. So I just do 1080. And yeah, so if it's cutting out on when watching on your PC, it may just be your PC like having trouble like rendering the video. So yeah, maybe it's just a PC problem. Maybe try some different computers or watching it different places. Like if you can get the footage to your phone, maybe see if you have the same issues. But if it's not, if it's smooth on the GoPro, then it sounds like it could be maybe a computer issue. Engine saying Kaprun is another glacier resort in Austria. All right, sweet. I'll check it out. Yeah. Thanks for the advice, man. Evan saying you should come to northern Michigan. Sweet, man. Yeah, we'll look into that. Michigan. What's the best place to go to in Michigan? Let me know. And Bon Q with the super chat. Thanks for the support. Says, sup, Kevin. Got any predictions for this year's snow forecast? Hoping for lots of pow days because we've all been stuck indoors for too long. Yeah, definitely. I think my prediction is that, so it's been a pretty hot summer. It's been generally, I believe, a very like hot and dry summer. So I feel like the precipitation has to kind of even out. So if the summer was really hot and dry, then it's going to even out. And it's going to be cold and snowy winter. So that'll be my prediction. Lots of snow and cold. Just to balance out the weather overall throughout the year. But yeah, thanks. And also last winter wasn't the snowiest winter either. So we're getting like, it's like back to back dry seasons. So we're due for some snow for sure. But yeah, thank you for the support, man. Romuald saying, after 2 months of waiting, I finally got my Capita Super DOA. Wow. Awesome, man. So you ordered it 2 months ago and it just arrived? That's amazing. That's yeah, it's pretty exciting when you just get it. Darren saying, is it worth renting equipment for a season? Keep it up, man. We love your content. Awesome. Thanks, Darren. Kind of depends. Like I maybe check out the where you ride locally, see how much it is daily to rent the gear, and then compare that to buying your own setup. Um, yeah, it's a tough call because people go different amounts, but if you're gonna go enough times, then it could definitely be worth renting it. And then it also saves like some hassle, like not having if you're like showing up, you got to go through the whole rental process, trying stuff on, getting, picking up the boards and stuff. And it's not always like consistent too. So some days maybe you'll get something that's a little bit different from the last time you rode. So it could be worth it, but I don't know your full situation. But yeah, if you if you go one weekend or one week a year, then maybe it's better to rent. But if you're going a few trips, then buying your own setup could be the way to go. It depends on how much you're into it as well. Like I know, even if you don't go very often, it's sometimes it is like buying the gear and like going through that process can be like really enjoyable, and then you like learn more about the gear too, so you can really dial in like what is the perfect setup for you too. So yeah, it's kind of tricky, but I think if you're going enough and you have the interest, then maybe buying could be the way to go. And Jen saying, I want to go snowboarding, but still no go from my physio dude. Oh man, gotta yeah, tell that physio dude to give you the okay. Yeah, man, I hope you're healing up and doing all the things you got to do. I know like yeah, it sucks having injuries and pains, but I guess it's like all part of it. It's all part of snowboarding. There's definitely there's quite a bit of risk involved. So man, I hope you're back to it soon, and yeah, hopefully get to go riding this year. Maybe it would be great to see you on the mountain this year. And Jen, that'd be amazing, man. Exuberant saying, "What's the best way to learn switch riding? Want to learn this season." So switch riding, when I learned to ride switch, I would show up at the mountain with like, and I would have like goals set in mind each day. Like I remember one day it was like I just planned every time I was at an easy area of the mountain, I was gonna ride switch, like no matter what. So I rode my normal way for all the steeper parts and any difficult areas, and then as soon as I got to an easy area of the mountain or the run, I would do it switch. So I remember going into days of riding with that mentality. Even I had some days where like I would just do 50% of my day switch. So after I progressed enough, and then I could start riding switch on some steeper runs, then I would like commit to 50% of my day switch. And then later on, once I was progressing even more and I was teaching snowboarding, if I had like a group of students, some days I would do the whole day like riding with my class and just doing it switch the whole day. And I even got into doing it sometimes on like powder days, just having like switch powder days. So I think that's the best way. Just like progress like that, but have goals in mind for the day of like how much switch riding you want to do, because the more you do, it's just about putting in like the hours and time doing it. And then it's like kind of what you'll get to a point where you like don't even notice that you're doing it. It just becomes natural to spend half of your day riding switch. So yeah, do it until it's natural. Nathan saying, have you glanced at the new Jones lineup? Definitely, yeah. The Jones snowboards, they look amazing as usual. I feel like with Jones, it's like there's not a lot of like big changes in the lineup, but there's like some small things happening, especially because of the like branding and the look of the boards. It's like a lot of like the natural wood looks. Excuse me. So like the top sheets don't change a lot, and so but yeah, I'm excited about Jones boards. So the one of the boards I picked up a few months ago was the Jones Ultra Mind Expander. So I'm really excited to ride that in some powder and like do some carving with that board. But yeah, so many cool, fun-looking boards in the Jones lineup. I feel like this is the time of year, September, October, of like starting to look online, starting to like look at all the different boards, planning out like yeah what you need for the season. And that's like a huge fun part of snowboarding, is just like beginning to obsess over the gear. So yeah, we're getting into that. So that's really fun. Hopefully I get to ride a lot of different boards when I get to Austria. That'd be really fun. Gideon saying, do you recommend the Burton Instigator or the Burton Ripcord for a starter board? And by the way, I love your channel. Awesome. Thanks, Gideon. Yeah, those are a couple good beginner boards. So yeah, that's a good place to start for sure. Um, yeah, I feel like when you're a beginner or like looking for those starter boards, just start at a low price. Look for a board that has some rocker and a board that's like a bit softer too. And those three things, put those together, and across any brand, you'll find a good beginner board. Debro is saying, "My boys and I love your, I love you. Thanks for your videos. Awesome. Namaste. Thank you so much. Yeah, Debros. Yeah, love you guys too. Thanks for checking out the videos." James saying, "Hey Kevin, what are the best summer exercises and sports to keep the snowboarding legs of steel in shape?" Yeah, really good question. So, yeah, definitely, if you can get on like daily stretching routines, like being as flexible as possible is really great for snowboarding and also for staying healthy. But like doing stuff like squats, lunges, even like core exercises, like doing some sit-ups, maybe some planking, push-ups, like all those things like help for the mountain. Like exercises that are similar to the things that you do on the mountain. Like I know for beginners, like being able to like do a push-up is important because when you're a beginner, you're pushing yourself up out of the snow so often. But yeah, having those like that core strength, so doing some crunches or planking or whatever like you like to do for core. And then yeah, things like for your legs, like squats and lunges, keep like help to build your leg strength. But like sports and like hobby wise, like getting into doing something like hiking. So for me, I do a lot of hiking in the summertime, or like other board like sports and hobbies that for the summertime. So skateboarding, surfing, what else? Wakeboarding. So like those board sports all like improve your balance for the upcoming snowboard season. Or if you can too, like if there's like a trampoline spot near where you are, like trampolining can really help. But be careful with the trampolining though, because that's like a whole other hobby and addiction to get into, and then it's very like there's possibility for injury doing well with everything. There's a possibility of getting injured, but stuff like trampolining and skateboarding also is like there's lots of chance of injury for that too. So just be careful out there. Scott Riddle says, "Do you recommend wearing a helmet?" Yeah, definitely. I feel like every year I have like at least one um, like crash where I hit my head, and I'm always like thankful for having a helmet on. Like I haven't had like a crash where I've hit my head and had like like seeing stars or feeling dizzy or anything like that. And I think it's all thanks to the helmet. Um, that just allows you to like if you do hit your head, usually you can just like pop up and like continue riding and not feel anything. So definitely wear a helmet, because without that helmet I would probably have to stop snowboarding from head impacts. So the helmet is key. Samuel is saying, "When are you gonna ride with David Jones?" Hopefully like as soon as possible. I've been watching some of his snowboard videos. He's taking a break, I think, from or maybe not a break, but he hasn't made many fingerboard videos lately, and he's made more snowboard videos, which is exciting to see. And but unfortunately, New Zealand is like in like lockdown, so nobody. I don't know if people can come out of New Zealand, but we definitely can't go into New Zealand. So I think it's gonna be it may be up to David. So like so I can't go to New Zealand to snowboard with him, but he may be able to fly out of New Zealand. So it's up to David. So if anyone out there wants us to collaborate, then just go bug David on his channel and get him, convince him to either fly here to Austria, or not in Austria yet, but to fly out to Austria or maybe somewhere in North America and get to snowboard with David soon. Eric saying, "Just got the GoPro 9. Let's go." Wow, man. Good job. I'm jealous, man. I want that GoPro 9. Where did you buy it, Eric? Tom Bullock saying, "Here in Chile, the season gone normal for the moment. Use masks and be careful with resort workers. one positive COVID on, and all gonna close. Yeah, that's great that yeah, Chile opened back up. Some of the resorts got going again. So yeah, I've been checking out the resorts, and the snow still looks great in Chile. And yeah, hopefully get back there next year. Sam saying Burton impact shorts, really nice to have. Yeah, definitely. It's funny. It's like I probably hit my tailbone. Like I've hit my tailbone twice. Like uh, like maybe 10 years ago, and then I wore impact shorts for like 5 years, and then I stopped wearing them, and then I hit my tailbone again when I wasn't wearing my impact shorts, and then since then I've worn the impact shorts like every day since, and I haven't hit my tailbone again. So I feel like it's one of those things where as long as you're wearing them, it's like that backup, so that if you do hit your tailbone, then it's there. So especially for beginners, like big time recommend for beginners to wear the impact shorts. They help a lot. All right, a few more shout outs. Exuberant Jour, Jenna, oh, almost got me there, the good one. We got shout out to Engen, Sparkle, Carrie Pierce. And let me just see something here. We got Dade Carter. Shout out to Connor Kep. Connor says, "What are your top snowboard full lengths?" I don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean by that, Connor? Noah says, "Hey, I'm just starting snowboarding. Any good beginner snowboards you'd recommend?" Yeah, it's tough to recommend specific boards, but I would say like three things to look for. Look for like a cheap, like the lowest price snowboard in the brand line. So as a beginner, you don't need like all the fancy tech that come in the more expensive boards. And look for boards that are on the softer side. So I would say like when you're looking at the flex of the board, start at like a 3 or like 3 to 5. I think softer is better for beginners. Just makes it a bit easier to flex the board when you don't have all the skills yet to like really put the technique into flexing it. So having a softer board helps. And then also look for a board that has rocker towards the tips. So rocker basically means that the base of the board rises away from the snow as it gets towards the tips, and it makes it more of a quicker turning board and less catchy. So yeah, look for those three qualities in a beginner board. And most boards across the brands, when you look at like the lower priced ones, they have like all those similar qualities. So that's what I would look for. B-Boy Saint saying, Kevin, what's up, man? Tanner saying, yeah, got some good dumps over in New Zealand. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the snow's looking amazing in New Zealand. Paul wants to know, where is the countdown? Yeah, where is the countdown? So, well, what day is it today? So it's like September 17th. So I think I'm going to say the kickoff, is it safe to say that the kickoff to the winter season is in October? I feel like the official snowboard winter season, would that be October? Maybe let me know, guys, in the comments. When does the season kick off? Because I know that different resorts open different days, and the beginning of winter is until like December, but the snowboard season, I think it kicks off in October. So maybe if you can snowboard October 1st, then the countdown is, yeah, we've got like 13 days to go. So maybe that could be the countdown. Let me know, guys. Let me know in the chat. Is the official start to the snowboard season October? Engen with the super chat says, go out and get Jill some roses. Oh, thanks, man. All right, I'm gonna buy Jill some. She just said yeah from the other room. All right, man. I'll buy some. I'll buy Jill some roses on you, Engen. Thanks for the support, man. And Jen, you're making me look bad. But yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll get some roses and we'll see if we can find some Belgian beer in town. All right. Oh, Noah's saying in New Mexico, mainly November. Okay, so snowboard season in New Mexico starts in November. Max Hall here in Indiana, it starts in January. Oh wow, that's a late season. Uh, the jerk next door is saying first snow we already kicked off. Where's that? Where are you? You can't just tell us that the first snow has already kicked off. And I guess in Colorado, yeah, in Colorado they had some snow. So, but that's too early. That's like it snowed in Zermatt, Switzerland, like a month ago. But that doesn't mean it's the kickoff of the snowboard season. Exuberant Gure says, "Is YouTube your main source of money because all those traveling would cost a lot of money and time?" Yeah, full-time YouTuber, just doing it as much as possible. Been making videos since 2011. So, yeah, YouTube is the full-time gig. Blake saying, "Hey, I've been thinking of traveling to BC this upcoming season to board at Whistler for a few days. How would you rate Whistler from some of the other places you've gone?" Interesting. I would say that Whistler is probably the biggest in North America. Definitely, there's some bigger resorts in Europe for sure. But Whistler is big. Like you can't do it all in one trip. There's so much to explore. And when the snow is good, the snow like when there's powder snow, it is really fun and amazing. It's got a very like big like variety of terrain. So you have the alpine, you've got tree riding, park riding. So there's a big variety of different types of snowboarding to do in Whistler, and it probably has like the best like village to when you like ride to the bottom to just like take your board off and like be like right in the village where you go for like food or drinks or whatever you like back to your hotel. It's like very convenient. So all of those things. Some kind of like other things like Whistler's the weather is very inconsistent, so it's tough to get like good conditions. You know, it can kind of be like amazing or it can be awful. So that's a bit hit or miss, and it can get very busy and very expensive. So it kind of yeah, it's kind of tough. It's really good, but the fact that it's good can sometimes actually bring too many people and make it too expensive. So those are a few of the drawbacks. But yeah, Whistler's. I feel like overall people have a good experience when they come. The Shred Ship saying Whistler is heaven, Kevin. Awesome. Monkey Bear wants to know, will you be going back to Morzine? Yeah, yeah. I had a super fun day with TJ a few years ago riding in Morzine. So hopefully we'll get to go back. That video is doing so well. The epic powder snowboarding day in Morzine, France, I think is like one of the most popular videos on the channel. So we'll have to go back to Morzine one day and make it a part two. Buttery Boy wants to know, what is your favorite snowboard brand? To be honest, I don't have a favorite. There's boards in each brand that I like and dislike, so it's I yeah, it's hard to pick a favorite, but there's like good boards in each one. Each brand has like their like gems. Noah's saying, thanks for the tips, dude. Watching you convinced me to start snowboarding. I've been skiing for a couple of years and I'm transitioning. Excited to see your videos this winter. Awesome, Noah. That's awesome to hear, man. Yeah, I hope, man, I hope you love it even more than skiing. And that's sick that you're making the transition over. Yeah, thanks for checking out the videos, man. Uh, Tom Vander and wants to know, how did you roll into being a YouTuber? So I think it was about 2010, 2011, where before that, YouTube wasn't that much of a thing. Like you could go onto YouTube and like watch like funny cat videos or like different viral videos and things like that. But there weren't any like YouTubers yet, really. And like making money on YouTube wasn't really a thing. But I think in like the early 2011, 2010, 2011, then it slowly started to become more of a thing. And I saw that there was lots of snowboard tutorial videos for sale. And I thought that maybe putting out videos for free, like tutorial videos, then that would be like a new way to do it and possibly be really successful. And yeah, the more free tutorials I put out, the more people subscribed and checked out the videos. So yeah, that's kind of how it happened. And then each year, I just learned to make videos better and learned to make more videos. And the more videos I made, the more people watched them. So I just kept it going. And it seemed like a really, I don't know, I used to teach snowboarding. So teaching snowboarding was really fun and I loved to do it. But like teaching snowboarding through videos was like a new challenge. So it was like a whole new thing to learn. So that was really fun to do. So I enjoyed it. People seemed to like it. And yeah, it worked out. So yeah, if you want to get into making YouTube videos, I would say like find something you enjoy doing and then just do it and do it as much as you can. All right, let's do a couple more questions. And Miguel says just 1K to reach 500,000 subs. Congratulations. Miguel, it's actually closer. So I think on YouTube it says 499, but what I can see kind of behind the scenes of YouTube, I think it's at like 499 and 910. So it's like pretty close. I'm within 100 subscribers to 500K. So if anyone out there hasn't subscribed yet, definitely hit that subscribe button. Awesome. Cool, guys. So just over the hour mark. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, for the live chat, talking to me on here. And yeah, the countdown to snowboard season is on. I think we'll be snowboarding. Hopefully everyone will be snowboarding this season soon. And yeah, we'll get things rolling and can't wait to be on snow again. But yeah, big shout out to everyone that dropped a live chat. Thank you guys, or a super chat. Thank you guys for the support. Thanks everyone for hitting the like button. We got 76 likes with 83 people. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes before the end of the chat. Oh, and the jerk next door is saying, looking forward to the 500K special. Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely do maybe next week. So next Thursday, hopefully at the same time, we'll have the 500K again subscriber special. So yeah, thanks for that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great week. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys on here again soon. Later, guys.